Hey, Brown Girl Banter.
Hey, Brown Girl Banter.
I'm Dr. Dangerfield.
And I'm Dr. Patience.
And before we get into our discussion of the day, we have to tell you that we have been trying
Mm-mm-mm.
to record. This is our third session that we've recorded
Third, guys.
on Zoom. And the first two, they were great dialogues, but they didn't come out like we wanted them to. So what we may do is drop some bits and pieces of our conversation so that you can actually listen in on what we were talking about. But we're back today because we could not let this week go by
That's right.
without talking about the importance of voting.
Such an important topic. We've been talking about it, believe it or not, for the last 3 times we've been trying to record this.
Right.
But we're determined because we feel like this topic is so important and we just cannot let it rest. And knowing that Super Tuesday is around the corner, it's just
it's knocking on
important.
your door. It's saying,
Yes,
knock, knock, get on out here and vote because I'm here. And the other piece
exactly.
is some people are talking about they don't want to stand in line, but if you early vote, you may not have to stand in line as long as if you wait until Super Tuesday.
Right. And I mean, I agree. Not I agree, but I was reading something where someone was like, you know, standing in line for 8 hours does not give you a badge of honor, which I
No,
agree. Voter suppression is real.
right.
And it is not just that is inequality, there's injustice in that. And we don't believe that you deserve it's all commendable.
Right.
But what we're trying, and we know that that's something we have to fight against in the
Hmm.
communities in which they are trying to suppress voters.
Yes.
But we really want to advocate that your communities find ways to, I saw something, they have brought food trucks out and bottled
Yes.
waters and
Hmm.
chairs for older people and
People.
things
Yeah.
to really support and help those who have those extremely long lines to stay encouraged to, push through and get the voting done because
Yes.
something's gotta give. But
Right. Because
that's it.
what we sometimes also forget is yes, we're voting for the office of president, but also we're voting for senators. There are other people on the ticket that need to be very vigilant in your voting for those individuals because they're the ones that also make decisions for your community.
Exactly. That's exactly right. So it's important too because we've seen in past presidencies, a little in this one, when the House or Congress is
Yes,
divided, that it's really hard for a president to get anything done anyway.
just
So
unless you just do executive orders on everything, but that's what it.
everything and just push things through
Yeah,
without caring, you can do
right.
that. But if you're
That's
trying to
not
be
the way it goes.
diplomatic and care about your constituents in
Yes,
your area, then it's important that that it is a true representation of the president that's in office. I don't know, somewhere along the lines, bipartisan ship things just went out the
yes.
window. We don't do
Oh,
that
yes,
anymore.
yes.
And so I was telling my husband was like, I don't even know, do people still even listen to their constituents or are they just kind of pushing their own agendas nowadays? I'm not even sure.
I think you have some. You have those true individuals that are in that were elected into office to make change. So
Hmm.
there are some individuals out there that will listen, but then you have those that's like, I'm in position now. I can make the choices that I want.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's unfortunate. I also
it
feel
is.
like, you know, it's easy, and we know as people who have studied human growth and development, it
Hmm.
is easy to get settled in your ways, which is
Yes.
why change is important. Refreshing and renewing things is important. Detoxing, cleaning out things is important.
Yes.
And at some point, we have to um, look at our Congress and our
Yes.
systems and our laws and say, what's outdated? What hasn't changed with
Right.
the times? who maybe it's time to retire
Yeah,
because, you've
because
been in
a
here for
lot
like
of individuals,
20 years.
yeah, they stay in these offices for, like, a lot of them, either they die out, or they get finally someone to run up against them, that the people will say, okay, let's support and get behind this candidate because they are making some change. And we're
Mhm.
living in a time where, like, the millennials and the generation that's coming behind, a lot of them are about change and about
Mhm.
advocacy. So they'll get in and start, but they have to, one, have to get to a certain age to even run for certain positions. But you see, they get in and start making some changes, but have a battle against those that have been there forever,
Mhm.
that people like, oh, I'll continue to vote, I'll
Because
continue
of the name.
because of the name. And
Because of the name.
we know, and we talked about this in the last video that y'all did get to hear, is that we talked about how, in our country, the influence of a person's name, they don't have to have the background,
Mm-mm.
they just have to be known. And in what country really do you elect movie stars, individuals who've been on TV shows, you elect them to office
Mm-hmm.
without any background
Without any
in
background.
political science, or even running in their community for
Mm-hmm.
a position.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's rare. It's rare.
it's rare.
And
Yeah,
so I don't know if I would trust you to run for the high school president, class president, and I'm going to choose people who have no history and understanding law and order to
right,
run countries or
right.
states or cities. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a risk. Let me
it
just say
is.
this. Everybody
It
has the
is.
right to vote for whoever they want to, but
Yeah,
we have to understand and educate
the risk,
ourselves in
like
knowing
the
the
risk that
risks
we're
involved
taking.
with that.
When you, but and also think about it. If you think about it, even in high school, the most popular people are the ones that tend to have won, like, even like those roles and those positions.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we need to be more diligent in our research to really look at who we're voting for, who we're placing in these positions that are going to impact our future. Because the
Agreed.
decisions that we make now not only impact us now, but they impact our future
Mm-hmm.
4, 8, 20,
Mm-hmm.
100 years from now. So we really
Hello.
have to be very conscious of that.
Very much so. And I think that before I really say what I'm about to say, me and Dr. Dangerfield have a tendency to say this because it's important. We feel like this is an important thing for us to always say.
Hmm. Yep.
Whatever I'm about to say is my opinion. It is based on my beliefs and
Mhm.
what I find to be true. I'm
Right.
not saying I am 100% accurate. It is just my stuff, right?
Yes.
So here I go. I think one of the big things that we have been talking about is the Black vote. And I
Yes.
think it is important for us to speak about the Black vote because that is our experience.
Yes.
So
And that's what that's the only place that we can come from.
that's the only place we can come from. And so, I've been having a lot of debates lately with a lot of friends and family on the Black vote, right? And,
Hmm.
I'm always a little confused. Not confused, that's a lie. I think this profession has definitely helped me be able to see both sides of a coin.
Yes. Hmm.
So, again, everybody has a right to vote for who they
Yes.
want. But when I try to gather understanding about voting. And so I say
Uh-huh.
this to you. So somebody will say to me, I'm like, well, man, this just seems like these comments are extremely racist, or
Hmm.
this person doesn't understand the difficulties of African Americans
Yes.
in the United States of America.
Yes.
They'll be like, but I mean, is the person a great guy? No. Is Donald Trump great? No. But I support his policies, right? And so the policies of abortion or gay marriage or whatever other thing you put in
And I guess
place.
the question, and I think that goes to a whole deeper piece of spirituality and religion.
Oh, girl, you took it. Oh, no, I was coming for it.
Yeah.
I was coming. And
Yeah.
all of these ideas and concepts of, evangelicals or faith-based people
Mm-hmm.
who use the Bible and the word to support, them
Mm-hmm.
behind someone. And so I was talking to probably my sister, and somebody said, you support all the things that happen to a person before they come out of the womb, but what about the people
When
outside
when
that's
when
already
they when
living?
they hear living in everyday life.
Who are getting gunned down and
Yes.
chokehold and
Mm-hmm.
tased and shot right in front of us. What
Yeah.
about their lives? Do those not matter? Are those not valuable and important?
Right.
Because what we try to do is, I believe, rationalize that by calling protesters, rioters, and looters all the same people, which they
And
are
they're
not.
not. Those are
And so
those are three different levels of civil unrest.
exactly. And so I have been having a difficult time with understanding those who can vote for anyone who to me represents racism. I'm just going to
Yeah.
be very
That's
blunt,
that's
clear about
that's just
that.
it. Yes. Because
And
it's
now,
like this person is not is this person is inciting racism and in our world where we're saying we want it to be better, or the reason why we're here is because of slavery, or because rules were made on because of the color of your skin, or
mhm,
because you are not in that place of white supremacy or white
mhm,
privilege. Because I was having a conversation with my oldest aunt, and that's what she was like. I just don't get it, Lucretia. She said, I don't. And I will tell you, she is someone, she's in the church, but she's like, when somebody doesn't like you and they think they're better than you because of their skin color, she said, now that's a problem.
mhm. It is. It is. And what are our children learning from what is happening in the country right now?
Right.
Like such division and
Yes.
divisiveness, and trying to get them to understand. Oh, well, why did they choke? Why did that person
Hmm.
give his knee on somebody's neck for eight
Right.
minutes, mommy or daddy? Like, trying to
Yes.
get them. Why are they shooting somebody in the neighborhood who's just jogging? Daddy goes jogging, mommy.
Which
Uncle
creates
so and so goes. Like, how are we able
more
to understand?
heightened, yeah, more
Right. And
heightened,
or how is it that they can come into somebody's home and shoot a
and
person
shoot up a person when they're
32
asleep.
times
Yes.
within the home and kill them
And they're asleep. Yes.
and they're sleeping? Like, how do you explain that? And then those people who are in positions of power, attorney generals or governors or whoever, aren't doing anything to bring those people in to be arrested or
Right.
prosecuting or things of that sort. And so when you feel your vote doesn't matter, this is a trickle down effect. It
Yeah,
doesn't
and
just
that's why people
stop at one
think.
space.
Yeah, that's why some people will say, I'm not going to vote because my vote doesn't matter, because they've seen what has happened before. Or they're like, well, if these people are in office, why should I vote? Because nothing's going to change. Why?
Mm-hmm.
But the important piece is you have a right
Mm-hmm.
to vote because it can change the system. We see a little change, in the system now, but what we have to also remember, it takes a while
Mm-hmm.
before for the system to change. And like I said earlier, the millennials and generations that's coming behind them are into this advocacy. This, they want change. So the way to create the change is to exercise your right to vote.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Agreed 100%.
Yeah.
And a lot of things that we've been hearing in the Black community as well is that um, holding parties responsible
Yeah.
for
Yes.
the community,
And we should.
and that our votes are expected, right?
Hmm.
We Democrats expect Black people to vote for them, and that Black people are not being strong, hard enough on Democrats to put our needs to the forefront of their policies and to advocate. Which Donald Trump has been running on a big thing of like, I've been helping these Black communities or these
Hmm.
communities of color to kind of build them up and help them and all of these particular things. And I believe there's truth not to Donald Trump. I do believe that there's truth to the the need to hold whomever's feet to
In
the
these
fire
positions, yes, yes.
for people of color.
Especially if you, especially when you put out there that that's, that's what, that's what you're standing on
Mhm,
in your platform, and when you come forward, because, well, they also, well, think about, even when President Obama was in office, some people were still complaining, saying that he didn't do enough for the black
mhm,
community, and that was a hard cross for him to bear, because, just because, you have to remember, there's systems in place that he couldn't just say, "Oh, this is a black policy." He had to do work around, like, making sure that it was fair across the board for all people, especially individuals that don't have.
well, you have to care about that though,
Yes,
because you could
yes.
again just write executive orders and change everything around the way you want it to
Thank
look,
you.
or
You
you
have to
could
care,
care
like you
about
said, you
everybody.
have to care about everybody.
Yeah.
And when you elect individuals that only care about people like them, we see it. We see it now. So if President Obama only did things for people like him, it would have been more middle class, affluent people of
Hmm.
color.
Hmm.
Then, so individuals that don't have would be like, he's still, most definitely not doing anything for us. So let's think about what we have now that's doing more for the one percenters, or those individuals that have, people that
Hmm.
have affluence and wealth.
Hmm.
And people are still saying you're not doing enough for the individuals
Hmm.
that don't fit into these categories.
Hmm.
And
I agree.
so, even seeing, some of our entertainers talking about, I get behind his plan, it is because you fall into that category of having more means. So yes,
Hmm.
you want tax breaks
Hmm.
that's going to afford you a better way of living, or where you have to pay less. Hey, we as small business owners, we want tax breaks
Hello.
so that we,
Exactly.
so that we can run our businesses, so that we can continue to pour into the community, and so that we can support our families.
Hmm.
We just want things to be equal across the board.
Hmm. Hmm. I agree. And I think that that's, I get frustrated. I have to understand, like when I'm hearing people say things, I'm like, okay, well, let me go read. Let me, I can
Hmm.
educate myself.
Educate
And I'm
yourself.
like,
Yeah.
you can do, make their, funding to do for developers to build in community lower communities. You can do that, and you can brag on that all you want to. But one, who are the developers? Two, what are they building around the community? Three,
Yeah.
are they kicking the poor people that are in the community out to
Yes.
build on their land, and then giving them
Yeah.
money that they can't even go buy another
They
house
can't. They
with?
can't find anywhere because the market rate.
So my thing is, thank you. Yes, you are building these
Yeah.
beautiful gentrification. You building these
Yeah.
beautiful homes in the whole communities. We appreciate that. But then where are the poor people in those communities then going? It's not like you're
That
building homes for them.
No, they're not.
So
Are they
stop tooting that
right?
horn.
Are saying that these are, that we're making low income homes for individuals, but it makes it hard for them to even get back in because you have rules that keep them out.
That, which is systematic racism. So anytime
Racism.
somebody gets on a debate or on an interview and say that systematic racism does not exist or
It
it's
does.
discrimination, that just
It
burns
does.
my britches because I'm
Yeah.
like, there is go take a class and understand what systems are and
Hmm.
then understand what racism is and then put the two words together
Together,
and
and
then
you
yeah,
find out what systemic racism is,
yes,
and it happens, and and if people were honest, that's the because what it is, they don't want to say, oh no,
ignorance
that's
is
yeah,
bliss.
they don't want to say, oh no, that's wrong, but because we have so many different systems here in the US that are oppressive, that have been set up to keep certain people out. And it's
Hmm.
not just black people, it's individuals that don't have.
Hmm.
That's that's what we all have to, like, what people have to remember. It's not because they're black and brown. It's a lot of it is because they don't have money. They don't have the means.
Agreed. Agreed. And I
Yeah.
think that's important to think about. And you can tote like, oh, jobs for African Americans specifically, because that's what I looked up,
Mhm.
are increased. One, that comes off of the president before you. But two,
Yes.
let's look at those jobs. What kind of jobs are
What kind
those?
of
So we
jobs
supposed
are
to
they?
just say, good, you got a job. Like, no, we want equal
We
pay.
want
Like,
we want to be have positions at the table.
yes, yes. And so we will, my thing that goes back to the mindset of you got something, so shush, like be quiet.
Yes.
You got the
It's
crumbs,
almost like,
that's
yes,
enough.
we threw you the scraps, you should be happy.
Right. And I mean, there's so many other things where, like, yes, that's true, but you have to finish the storyline. Yes. And I
Yes.
am not saying that Democrats have done a fantastic job in caring
No.
for Black people. I am
No.
not saying
They
that
have
by
not.
any means, which makes me a little about it with Diddy and our Black Party. Because I'm kind of like, how do we as middle class, Americans
Mhm.
connect with those who are in the 5 or 1% to
Mhm.
create a voice that advocates for the needs of people of color? We have to find a way to unite together and not feel like it's so unattainable for us to
Yeah.
connect and get our needs met. Like, that is, to me, I feel like so many people feel disconnected or
Yes.
despondent, or like it's impossible. Like, no one's going to hear my lowly little voice, which is what
But but if
has
you
been.
but if a group joins together, like they're like the masses, the more people that join together and like get behind um a viable candidate, someone that is not just because
Mhm,
you're black and you have a voice. No,
mhm,
somebody that is really um looking at the needs across the board,
mhm,
and and we getting together and backing that, or even if we don't do a black party, as any party that you align with, whether you're Republican or if you're Democratic, you have to hold either party accountable and
exactly.
responsible, because we haven't done good in grooming the next candidate.
Exactly.
That's why we're in the really that's why we're in the situation that
What you
we're
said.
in now, because neither party has groomed a viable candidate,
I agree.
because they have all the people that were in the party, a lot of the people in the party, old, died out, and didn't do good future planning.
It
I
didn't
don't
do
know
a
if
good.
I don't know if they thought that the world was going to disintegrate after, but didn't think, like, you need to start groom, like, that's how these parties came about, and this is how they would have good candidates. They
Exactly.
started, like, even before the candidate was even thinking about running for president.
Hmm. Hmm.
They would
I do
start
think.
in community,
Yeah.
like local individuals. Then they would help them move, mayor, governor, senator,
Hmm.
then go on to the house, and then the next thing you know, they're running for president. But
Hmm.
they've been long sighted.
I agree. And I feel like they're trying to do that with specific people, but somehow, which is another thing I think is, systemic kind of thing in Congress. Where people are not letting nobody through. They like, this my seat. I'm
And
not ever,
all the
ever,
way you're gonna
ever,
get me
ever
out of this
leaving
is
on both parties.
yeah. That's and that goes back to, that's where we are gonna have to be more strategic, and even like voting, like finding, because there's a young man here in Nashville, and he wasn't thinking about running for off, but some individuals saw his character, his integrity, and was listening, so they supported him to run for a seat here in Davidson County.
Hmm.
because they saw so, and I believe they're grooming him
Mm-hmm.
to move up. I don't know if not maybe not for president, but he's gonna, moving him up to Senate, possibly governor. They're
Mm-hmm.
grooming him.
Mm-hmm. That's important. We have to.
Yeah.
We have to. And so I just think that it is important for, I mean, everyone. And again, I am one-sided. I definitely am biased. I'm not going to deny that. I don't pretend about that.
Right.
But I think it's important that you can vote whatever way you want to. That's
Yes.
your call. You do what you feel is best.
Oh,
Vote. That's the most important thing. Vote.
that
But what
is
is it that you need from your person, right?
person.
Like put
Yes.
that in the comments section, Brown Girl Banter. What are you looking for in
Yes.
your candidate? What do you believe are the needs of your community? Because I think we
Especially
have to,
around women, stuff
yes,
that
women's
impacts women.
issues.
Yes.
Yes. And it's important. I think what happens is maybe we get so tangled up in what we need, on what are through our lens. But I would love if you live in a different state or a different county, or what is it that you need? Because I think it's so important. And maybe you'll motivate or encourage somebody to look into their candidate to see if that is what their candidate is offering for them. So
Yes.
put in your comment section. I'd be intrigued to know what you all are, when you're out there voting and considering your candidates, like, what are you looking for? What are you voting for? What's important for
What
you?
is it?
Somebody
What's important?
one of my Facebook friends did a post, and he said, what do you all look for in a therapist when you're looking for one? And everyone put all these different comments. And it was so interesting because it was so many things as a therapist I was reading with them all, like, oh, that's so interesting that they look for this. And some people
Yeah.
was
Okay.
Christianity, some people was gender, some people were sexuality, some
Yes.
people were, it's just a bunch of different things, consultations. Can you see me immediately? It was just so many different comments. But it sparked things for other people. And so when we have these healthy conversations and when we communicate something that I might not even be thinking of for a candidate, you might say, and I'd be like, oh, wait a minute.
Okay. Yeah.
I need to
Think about that. Yes, that needs to be added to my list. Yes.
So I think that's important. So we want to hear what y'all have to say about that. So put something in the comment section for us to read. We love that.
Yeah. And before we end, I have I have to bring this up because on my Facebook page, I said if you're my friend and you don't vote, I said unfollow or block, whichever one should. But there was some comments. There was some comments in the in the comments, and so someone wanted to challenge me, and I'm like, one, you know me well enough to know that I'm not talking about people that can't vote.
Exactly.
But they're like, remember, some people can't vote, our immigrant status. I know those. I'm talking about these individuals that have a voter's card that are choosing not to vote.
Exactly. Get out there, rock the vote.
We need, and like we said, we don't care who you're voting for. Just vote. That's because there's some things out that, like, if the number of people, if a certain number of people in one state had voted in the last election, things would have been different. So, there's power in your number.
And please remember, Black women, our votes count, baby. We show up in ways people never expect us to. So,
because we got
as
power.
a Black woman, I'm telling you, get out there, vote, vote, vote.
We have power. We have power. And some people know it. That's why they try to keep us down. But then other people like, let me exploit her power, her position, because they know we'll go in and get it done. That's all
Sorry,
right.
y'all. My
Let them. They can come in.
My
You
little
have
2-year-old is very rude while I'm trying to
No,
record.
she's like,
while I'm trying to record this.
Tell Emery we said hello. Tell her come on.
I will tell Emery and Zuri that you both said hello. Definitely.
BGB said hello.
Brown Girl Banter, y'all know I got little kids around here who are just completely rude. I apologize for that, y'all. So, anywho, all that to say, rock the vote.
Yes.
We want to hear from y'all. Let us know how you're voting. Let us know who you're voting for, but get out there and vote. It's important. It matters. It matters. It matters. And educate yourself. Definitely educate yourself on the person that you're voting for.
Yeah.
You got anything else? Oh, I have one more thing, everybody. Today is Dr. Dangerfield's birthday.
Yes, happy birthday to me.
We're wishing her a wonderful, blessed birthday. You know, if we would have did this 3 weeks ago when we did the other recordings, it wouldn't have been. But we landed on her birthday
But
this
it landed
time.
on my
So
birthday this time. Yeah.
we have to wish her a very happy birthday. So please send her a happy birthday shout out in the comment section when you see this video. She will love it.
I will.
Well, Brown Girl Banter, we hope that we get the opportunity to connect with you again soon. We really pray that you get to actually see this video. And
Yes, we do. We really do. We really do.
and we look forward to connecting with you more and soon. So you can always catch up with.
Right, we can do more.
We can do more if we can just get this one right. We emphasize that.
Yes.
So you can always catch up with me on Instagram at I am Dr. Patient. So please follow me, like, share. I would love to hear from you. So please feel free to put anything in the comment section. I will get back with you as best I can. And Dr. Dangerfield, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at I am Dr. Dangerfield. Yes, follow, like, hey, and see what we're over here doing.
See what we are over here doing. And then the last but not least, please, 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 please follow us on I Am Brown Girl Banter on Instagram. Please catch up with whatever we have going on and what we're doing there. Please like and share that page. Please comment. We just want to get as many followers as we can so we can get this great information out there across the country, not just in our local area. So please share our information. So again, love y'all. Great to connect with y'all, and we will talk to y'all soon. Take care, Brown Girl Banter.
Bye.
Bye.